All right. So anyway, they did a War Games package and gave the rules of this thing. Imagine that. And they're using Ozzy's War Pigs again as the official theme of the event. And so they came out of that, and in the back, again, nothing good happens in the ring. Priest tells JD that he annoys him, but he helped him. He took one for the team, blah, blah, blah. So he got the Judgment Day jacket or vest or whatever that thing is. And he's official. And at 10:25 Eastern Standard Time, the first babyface, Cody Rhodes, began his entrance for the main event tag team title match. And after the rest of the entrances and a break and the plugs and more entrances and the introductions, they only took 10 minutes to ring the bell on the main event this week. But finally, we get to see what's going to happen. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso for the tag team title against Priest and Finn Balor. And what did you think of this match, Brian? Well, go ahead. Before I tell you what I thought, what did you think?
I don't think very much of a lot of these matches on SmackDown or Raw just because of the way they're cut up and everything with the commercials, but it was an okay match. It was all right.
It's
all about the story. It's WWE's. It's all about the story. You'll watch the match to tolerate what's going to come next.
Well, yeah, and Cody does try to take him a bit more up and down, on a little ride than most people do with his matches. But again, this was kind of punch and kick match. Neither team does a lot of teamwork. They're not. Well, Priest and Finn should be a team. Cody and Jey are brand new, but. It's just all about out of nowhere doing a spot for the break. They had cut Jey off at the start, and then at one point, Cody and Priest just jumped in and started fighting in a four-way for no reason, and they went to the floor, and they went to the break. And then when they come back, they're still getting heat on Jey. But Jey just pushed Finn into the corner so Cody could tag in, and then they stopped him and got heat on him. And then he actually did hot tag Jey. And he made a comeback, and I don't know whose punches are getting more see-through now, Jey Uso or Damian Priest. Because Priest is doing this fancy little twist when he throws it and making a big motion and the slap, and you can tell it's awkward. It's not, I don't understand why it's so difficult for guys to throw punches these days. They can do everything else. But it's like they're scared of fucking potatoing somebody, but they'll go through a table off a fucking diving platform with them and think nothing of it. And then they stopped Jey again and threw him over the desk, and they went to the break. And then they came back, and he made an abrupt tag to Cody, but people popped because it was Cody. And he made a comeback, and then Jey tagged himself back in. And they did some false finishes. And again, they finally open up the last couple minutes where Jey dives on everybody. And suddenly he's on the floor. He looks around and he sees Drew McIntyre. And Drew just gives him the Claymore kick. Boom, rolls him in and walks off. And Finn covers him 1, 2, 3. And then Drew is staring ominously at the baby faces from the entranceway, and Rhea Ripley walks out, and they get the big handshake. So now we know where Drew's sympathies lay, but that was, 10 minutes of entrances and 20 minutes of just kind of, okay, they didn't do anything wrong, but it was just, to get there. That's what I saw.
Again, it's all about the big angles, and I think WWE's done a fairly good job of, with this establishing who the top baby faces are and the top heels are. In AEW, if there's like anything with a faction versus another faction, it's main event people, the rest of the show will just be other things happening. There wasn't that much on this show, and it really didn't seem that bothersome because the things that were there were all furthering the biggest storyline there is.
Yeah.
Leading into the War Games.
And that's what they continue to do, to draw billions of dollars by boring us to death most of the time, so that when the 5 people that we're really interested in do something, it stands out. But you mentioned there is a pecking order in the WWE, and you can tell what it is, like every other wrestling company and territory since the beginning of time, except in AEW, where one of these off-brand indie nitwits that gets signed because he's friends with somebody can be the opening match one week and the main event the next week, and they don't think there's anything wrong with that, which is why that they're in the shape they're in right now, because they don't think there's anything wrong with a lot of shit.
And they've now also established with Judgment Day a couple interesting things. One was Priest demanding, or not demanding, but in a commanding way saying he's the leader of Judgment Day earlier in the night.
Blurting it out.
And it got a reaction from not just the other members, but the audience obviously oohed at that.
Yeah.
And now this is the second time we've seen Rhea make a deal, right? Didn't her and Heyman have a deal on SmackDown at some point, or was it on Raw?
Yes, one of those things.
So Rhea, the deal maker, doing business on behalf, I guess, on behalf of Judgment Day, but who knows?
You know what she's going to say? Not only is mommy always on top, but you're going to have to deal with the dealer.
We'll see if she says that.
You know, I should have had D-Lo say that. You're going to have to deal with D-Lo. Maybe not.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's AEW.
Did you have him say anything else?
He was quite the talker once he got started.
But there wasn't really a catchphrase or something, was there?
Well, no, he did later on, but I didn't tell
him.
You
had him, I'm saying.
Well, no. We didn't do catchphrases in the wrestling business. We just did promos. Now you do catchphrases.
Well, that was Raw, and you caught it, indeed. The catchphrase that is Raw.
And I threw it back because it was undersized and not fully grown. I was afraid I'd get cited by the game warden.